There were about 30 students in our class from all over England. They came from University of the South of England. I did our first training at Milford and went to the hospital there so that we got the idea of working in a hospital. And then we were moved up to London. And there I stayed in Hampstead Heath, and I used to go in by tube to London, to St Thomas's, and there we started our training proper. It was just a fundamental training for a start, anatomy, physiology, and the doctor who used to give us lectures too. From St Thomas's we went down to Milford again, and there we were starting to go into the wards under supervision, and it was all very fundamental. And then later we went up to Manchester because there were bombs on the department in London. In Manchester we worked in the different circumstances. During the war, so many of the adolescent children or adolescent had been evacuated, and it was either older people or else particularly young family. We certainly had the first of all the army that had returning from battles. They came back from France. The severe ones were treated by the accomplished physios. When we went from Manchester, we came back to London, and then we went down to Chertsey. There we had a lot of patients who had come in from the east with war wounds, with broken arms and shrapnel wounds. We used to, mobilisation really, and re-education. They were fit people, but they had been injured. From Chertsey we left and we went back to London, and there we had our electrical training. I was up there when peace was declared, and that was a memorable occasion. Mind you, we had been there during the night, during blitzes, where we were on night duty. And I remember on one night duty, we had to stay awake, of course, and stay up all night and watch the fires all round us in case there was a fire or bomb that was dropped on the hospital. When peace was declared, we went across over the bridge and then walked up Whitehall, stood outside the Whitehall and called out for Churchill, and then we walked up to Trafalgar Square, and then we went down towards the palace and called out for the king, and he appeared, and then after that we went home. After that we had our exam, and fortunately that was successful. And after that I went down to, had worked in Devizes for a while. I worked there for about 3 months. And then to Bath. And then from Bath I went to, I worked there for a while. And then the opportunity came up of going to Cornwall. And I worked there. And that was, one in Truro, and it was lovely. Stayed at the hospital. But I met my friend there, and we decided we would emigrate to New Zealand, but without any plan of staying. It just happened that after 2 years I met my husband. I was married in England. Well, general. It was general work. And if they came in with respiratory trouble, well, that was meant I gave them breathing exercises. And if they had a broken leg, well, they had legs, and they all hospitals that weren't specialised. But if the patient was ill, it was most outpatients. In fact, in every case, it was outpatients work, except in Bath, and that was more. Well, there again you had outpatients and inpatients, and if you were given you inpatients, you worked in the ward for a while, and then we did outpatient work. And the same in Cornwall, you worked in the outpatient department, but there were inpatients as well. See, we think hard. Because the hospital, because the outpatients, the physiotherapy department was separate from the hospital there. Yet I remember going from A to B. I didn't know if there had been many children. Oh, yes, there was a child. But, you know, children would have walking difficulties, and after being in plaster, or I just sort of took them as they came. I think, I wonder if I've got any list now. I haven't got that now. You adapted what you learned, and you just saw what was wrong with the patients and coped with it.